guys, thanks for stopping by my channel. So I am doing my Tart burner collection video as well as my 2 oil burners. I decided to put those in the mix. For any of you guys who are new to a lot of the home fragrance, different possibilities rather than just burning a candle, I figured if you want to see my collection, it's also a great time to just kind of quickly run through how Tart burners work, because I've noticed a lot of you guys are still very new to it. And sometimes you just need to kind of see what someone's doing to understand. I know exactly how you feel. I've been that way my whole life. I'm a visual learner. So I have different varieties of Tart burners. I of course have ones just for decoration that are just very cutesy. And I have ones that use tea light and also ones you plug into the wall and are just electric. I do also have some depending on how I decorate a certain room in my house, and also holidays, of course. This is actually every burner I own with the exception of one, and I packed it up with my Christmas decorations, and I don't know if I should have. I might be a boo-boo. I think I'll keep it out this year, but it is in the style like this one where it just has the hanging dish, but it's the gingerbread one from this last Christmas. So it's I went ahead and packed it up because I figured what was the point in looking at that one all year round, but I do have plenty, so I don't think it would have hurt anything to have it down. But I will go through, I will talk about the different ones and where I got them from and kind of what's going on with them. So for starters, on this side, I have, and my mess in the background, sorry, but I have my tea light burners to start with. So this is one I've got from Walmart. It was a standard basic one. It just has the tea light burner here, a couple of little vent holes here for the pretty light, and of course the dish on top that is one piece. And this is also one that's a little bit taller in black. Same scenario, your tea lights for here, your little vent holes that show your pretty light, and it's one piece as well, one dish. Those are both from Walmart. They run anywhere from like $4 to $10 depending on how fancy you get and what size it is, anything like that. Those are basic ones I use around the house for something neutral. Like my front bathroom, I decorate it with kind of like a beach theme. So something like that, if I don't want to go all out and get a very themed out burner, it's simple, white, basic. If company comes over, it'll do the job. So those are my simple basic ones for any time I'm just wanting something kind of on the quick and I don't want to drag out one of my prettier ones or something like that. Those are some of the first ones I actually bought anyways when I first got into home fragrance. And the cool thing about it is this one back here, it is from Hallmark. I got this as a wedding present when my husband and I obviously got married. This was the first one I had ever received. I had no idea what it was. I thought it was very pretty though because I like the leaf details. It's cute for in the fall. It had this huge dish on top and I just did not know what this was. She gave me some tarts from an online vendor and I don't even remember who it was to this day because I have used them up by now. But this was the first Tart burner I ever received. Same scenario as those first two. It's tea light, got your vents, one dish, one piece. And this is what really kind of got it all started for me. She described to me what you do. I was in love with it because I did have a new home. I wanted to be able to burn stuff because it's your own home. You get to do whatever you want and let it smell like whatever you want. And it was awesome. And so this is what actually started it all for me. And these 3 are the first ones that I've ever used in my life when I first started discovering the different alternatives other than just lighting a candle. And I did also keep one Yankee Tart out because I wanted to show you guys, obviously if you're familiar with this, any brand, it can come in the little ramekin cups if you want, the little ones from Walmart that are little bars or cubes you break apart. It does not matter what type of wax you use. It does not matter what type of company you use. And this is something I used to get asked a lot, personally, not even on YouTube, is about using a brand burner with a brand wax form. It does not matter. The only thing that will ever matter is wax versus oils. And I'll go over that when I get to the very end and I do my oil burners. But they burn at different temperatures. So that is the only thing you ever should worry about is oils or wax. But these are from Walmart. I can put the Yankee Tarts in them. The Walmart brand wax in there. I can put anything I want. Scentsy bars. You know, candles from the keeping room, Granny's, you know, Victoria's, Tiffany's, any one you want to use, it will work fine. This is what it looks like beforehand. It obviously has just enough room in the top for it to burn. All you simply do, put a tea light, a lit tea light under here. Obviously the plastic will come off and it will melt. I have a few of these where I've left them in there. I haven't taken them out just for that reason, for the sake of showing you what it's going to look like. Because obviously it's not going to keep its shape. So those are my 3 first ones. And then I start getting into when I really started discovering Yankee, even though these are a little mixed up. Not in any order I purchased them or anything, because some of them are relatively new. But I do like these hanging ones. They cost a little bit more. They're usually between $27 to $33, depending on how fancy it is. But these are awesome to find during semi-annual sales. I have one back here, this Tiki Guy one. I actually found him for $10 at like 2 semi-annual sales ago. These all work the same. They come with a little bowl that can be easily removed off of here by a little chain. You can put this in the freezer, whatever you want to get it out. It just runs by a tea light as well. So this is what it's going to look like when it's burned. This one I've melted quite a few times. This was Island Spa that's from Yankee Candle. And it's, you know, it doesn't really look the same now, does it? It's kind of clearish, kind of, you know, not glossy or anything. It's just a little block of wax. And it's not going to evaporate. That's one thing that I even questioned when I first started doing it, and other people started questioning. Your wax cubes, you don't burn them until they're physically gone. You would be here forever and wasting a lot of tea lights and a lot of time. The Yankee Tarts, for example, get anywhere from 8 to 10 hours of scent at best. You can always, it's like having stuff for your car. It'll say a month, but you can guarantee it's not going to be that long. So for something like this, I will just simply melt this for as long as I can smell it. If there comes a point you've lit it and it's wax, it's a little wax pool sitting in there and you don't smell anything, then it's probably time to go. You simply can either pour that wax into something to dispose of or let it cool, pop it into the freezer. It'll slide right out in a solid piece, toss it in your trash can. Very simple, very easy, and that will go for any burners. You can, if they fit in the freezer, put them in the freezer. If they have, if they're electric and the whole unit, I would not put that in the freezer. I would just simply pour that out and just use a napkin to wipe out any residue that's left over. But this is what a, you know, basic melted wax will look like when it has re-cooled off. That's exactly what's going to happen. So this is my little like tiki man from a few years ago. This one is relatively new for this year. I thought it was so cute. My husband and I love to go camping. I thought it was so pretty, the little boy and girl in a tent. Same scenario, you put your wax in here, tea light. It's supposed to look like a little fire next to their tent, which is so cute, and it lights up. They have plenty like these. My gingerbread one does the same thing. It has gumdrops that light up. These cost a little bit more because of the lighting up, but I think they're just super, super cute. Ones I like to use because in the summertime, I don't really get into the whole tropical thing or like doing, except for my restroom. My bathroom does look like a beach, but my house, I like doing the very cozy home type feeling stuff. And for my husband and I, camping is just very home for us. So I love that. I mean, not like deer heads on the wall kind of decorating, but you kind of get what I mean. Something kind of like this. I love this one. Whenever Yankee comes out with their like grizzly bear type stuff, I love getting it. This one's a lot larger. I think I actually did put an entire votive in here instead of a tart. That is why it's also filled up a lot more. I love these. Same scenario. Your tea light's going to make it look like they're sitting by the fire. It's just very cutesy. And I love these because they're good for if you do a certain type of decor or a certain season, or maybe you have like a cabin. Something like this would be totally awesome if you have a lake house, a cabin, any kind of like summer retreat you do. And I know I've kind of skipped these two. These are just 2 more that are simply a tea light one. This one's actually rather new for this time of year. I live in Alabama. You guys know I'm a huge Alabama football fan. So I thought this would be so cute to put out in the fall, you know, after Halloween, and I'm kind of like just doing fall type stuff. I thought it would be so cute. The top comes off, so this is where my wax will go. Same scenario, has a hole in the back for the tea light, same as the other ones. If you can fit a big piece like this in your freezer, it won't hurt anything, but I know it's kind of bulky. Most people don't have that kind of room, so if your wax is melted and you're ready to dispose of it, simply get like a Coke can or something like a, you know, any kind of can, something that's going to hold the wax and not seep through anything because it's going to be warm. You'll pour it out, be done. You might have a little residue, take you a wet napkin, just kind of get that good and clean out. You're ready for your next time. So that's very simple and basic. And I know you guys saw this in the jar wax melts video. It's the one that looks like a little sundae. Same scenario, and this is, I forgot what I've got in here. I think it was one of the Febreze ones. But same scenario, it's just going to look like a little dish, tea light, your lid. Simple, easy, very, and the ones I like about these is these are vent holes for that wax. Obviously, light's not going to come through this chocolate part of it. But I do love some of these because they work just as well. They usually call most of these like the crock-pot styles. This isn't a genuine crock-pot style, but it's the same scenario. You're going to have a lid covering your wax, but you do have vent holes. It will still come through perfectly fine. Sometimes it's trial and error. You could buy one and maybe it won't, you know, be very wonderful, but you never know till you try it. I've never had any problem with it, so I've never had any hiccups like that. So then I start getting into my electric ones. My favorite form, because you do not have to rely on tea lights. You simply plug it in the wall, turn it on and off as you wish, and it's very simple and basic. But they're not going to be as pretty as a lot of the tea light ones, but I do love the different varieties we have. This one I actually recently bought. It is the they call it in the Americana series at Yankee. It actually does light up with these little stars that are on the side. It's in the shape of a star, obviously. This is the dish that my wax is going to go in, so it's going to look like a star when I'm done with it. This is what they call a hot plate burner. It's just a simple hot plate, like the old school, you know, the little flat plates you would put your candles on if you didn't ever want to light the wick. It's basically the same concept. They just cranked it up a notch when Tarts became very popular. This is very easy because I can put this into the freezer and remove it very easily, no problem. You don't have to worry about this whole unit trying to get it cold or anything by trying to do that. So this one is very pretty. My husband is like a huge, just patriotic person. Anything that's like the red, white, and blue and stars and stripes, he is obsessed with it. So he actually picked that one out himself. I was very proud of him. Of course, I'm not going to turn down any Tart burner. Then there's ones in the back. This is what I mean by when I say the crock-pot burner. I've left a lot of these around. It just takes the lid off. This one is a plug-in, so I just plug it into the wall. This is one that's a better example of where I'm going to have to pour the wax out, and I didn't do that, so I may have to figure out what I want to do to get that one out. But I keep this one in my bedroom because my bedroom is a French-themed room, so that's why I have the like the Bonbon Paris one. I also have the log cabin one, which is another crock-pot one. The scent comes out of the chimney. It's just one basic unit. You put your wax there. It's plugged into the wall. It doesn't light up or anything. But believe me, at the power that comes out of that, you would not think so, but it works wonderfully. This is one of the most common basic styles back here. This one is from Michaels. Same thing, it's a hot plate burner. You put your wax in here. You can put this into the freezer, however you want to do it. Works phenomenally. Then I have this one. This is actually my pride and joy from Yankee Candle because the entire unit at the bottom lights up. It's just my favorite one. It's a neutral color. It goes with anything. I use this one in my living room pretty much on a daily basis, and I love it because this is just the same scenario. Hot plate burner. Put this in the freezer. It's my favorite one of all of them. It's been harder to find lately, but it is my absolute favorite. I have my little monster from Walmart. He is one I use obviously around Halloween, so he's packed up most of the time. The light will come out of his chest a little bit. This one is a lot smaller dish because it's designed for Walmart's cubes, which are very small and petite, so it's designed for doing little pieces at a time. And this one is actually a light bulb burner. It doesn't use a hot plate. It doesn't use tea lights. It just has a little light bulb in there that when it blows like any light bulb would, you just simply replace the bulb. And that's how he stays warm. Then I have this one, which is one you can plug into an outlet. One that you can put into a bathroom or in, above a counter. Same scenario. This one's harder to get to, but there is a light bulb in here. You'll see when it lights up in here, you just plug this into an outlet, turn it on, let it go. Same scenario as the rest. You clean it out when you're done. And I love that one. I think it's so cute. It's the first one I've actually ever bought that is one that plugs into the wall. And only a few more, I promise. This is another light bulb one from Walmart with a gray dish on it. There's the light bulb, and it's just one that's got like little around the world type photos on there. My husband got it for me because he knows I love Paris, even though it's kind of hidden onto the back of it. But it's so cute. I love it. I like using that one in rotation in my bedroom. And lastly, this is one that comes from Walmart. It's just another light bulb burner that has white fleur-de-lis around it. Dish comes up off the top. That one, I actually don't use it as often because, frankly, I'm not a huge fan of light bulb burners, but I do use them time to time. They're just not exactly priorities of ones that I use. And then we have our oil burners. This one's very different. I only own two because I really don't burn oils like I used to. Ones I've used in the past actually have broke because before then I didn't understand the rules of a lot of home fragrance and oils. When it comes to tea light, this is a tea light version. This is one that's on sale right now at Bath & Body Works. Your oil, you just drip it into the top. You burn it by a tea light at the bottom. When using tea light ones, never under any circumstances use a scented tea light. You always must use an unscented one. The temperatures are different with them. That's where I've actually learned that before even really shopping and doing my own research. I used a scented one because I ran out one time. I had a glass on top burner that sat on a little pedestal and you put the tea light under the bottom. It broke. It shattered the glass because it got way too hot. Never under any, even if you run out, you're just stuck with it because you will break probably whatever it is you're using when it comes to the tea lights. So make sure to always use unscented basic white tea lights that, you know, you can get anywhere. Even the dollar store sells those. So that is what an example of one by Tea Light uses. This is just like a little sample oil because you just drip it into the top, drip it into here. This is an electric one. I get asked a lot of questions about this one. Bath & Body Works did sell them for a while for $20, but I found it for $10 at Walmart. This one, I love it. You plug it into the wall. You just let it run. This one is designed for mixologies. You don't have to if you don't want to. Simply pour your main oils into the center like a Tart burner would. It's going to get hot. Now the oils will evaporate unlike wax will. So that's one great thing about these is you use them up. You might still have a little icky residue when it's finally gone. You can just simply wipe that out to clean it. No problem. But this one, you can mix it, like let's say you had a lemonade and cherries or something and you wanted to make a cherry lemonade fragrance out of oils. Simply pour your main one in here like your lemon oil, and you would pour your secondary into this outer rim. It just does a simple mixology. Yes, you could easily just blend the two together, but sometimes keeping them separate is a different type of aroma, like, you know, coming from it. It's just kind of a personal preference. But, you know, it comes like this regardless. It's just designed to do that. So you can do two different fragrances at one time if that is your prerogative. But I do love that one. This is, I actually have 2 or 3 of these because I keep them in different rooms. And usually I'll just swap out the fragrances, or maybe I'll try to sync up one fragrance and have my home entirely smelling like it. Something like that is pretty fun. So that is basically, in a nutshell, how you use burners, the differences between the brands, the types, whether it's light bulb or electric. I hope I explained it well, that you guys understand exactly what I mean. Any brand wax, any brand oil can go into those types of burners. And the oil burners I mentioned are different because they run off of different temperatures. So never put wax in this one and never put oils in any of these. They burn at very different temperatures. That's the only rule to ever remember. Other than that, you really cannot go wrong with it. It's pretty basic. Any brand burner can use any brand wax. So no problems. It's a personal preference if you like the light bulbs, the hot plates, or the tea lights. Tea lights to me are very cute for a very sweet ambiance around the room. If you know, in the summer you don't want to light a fire. Obviously it's going to be way too hot. But it's a cute way to have the ambiance of like a fire and a candle together. And they're more decorative, but I prefer hot plates because they just simply do the job that I want them to do. I don't have to burn through tea lights because tea lights only last maybe around 4 hours at best. And then it's going to go out. You have to keep replacing it. And I just like the electric ones because I can leave them on for an entire day and burn through a Tart and just get every ounce of fragrance out of it. Again, on those Tarts, you're not waiting for Tarts to evaporate. You just wait until fragrance is gone and you simply throw it out. You throw the chunk out. I know it feels sad that you paid for it. There's a chunk of wax still there. You know, you're used to candles, which eventually go down. Not the same. You just want to throw those out when the fragrance is gone. Oils will evaporate. You just want to kind of clean up your aftermath when you're done using those. But always keep up with oils because if it's still burning and there's nothing there, you're going to kind of cause damage or icky residues or stains to your burners. So definitely keep an eye when you do oils. That is why I don't do oils as often. And so this is everything in a nutshell. Most of these are from Walmart or Yankee. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to comment or message me and ask me anything. Don't be embarrassed if you're new to this and you have no clue, or maybe you still have questions. No problems. This is something I like to touch base with now and again for people that are new to it. So there's no harm in asking. I'd rather you ask and do it right than to maybe waste or harm a burner you might have paid a good bit of money for. So you can never ask a stupid question when it comes to these. I'd rather you protect your items you've bought. And as always, comment, rate, subscribe. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I will talk to all you guys later. Bye!